Welcome to MyLITV. From Manhasset to Montauk, we have traveled our communities to bring you the following events. I'm your host, Waldo Cabrera. MyLITV starts now.
Well, about 4 years or so ago, the Historical Society in Montauk here agreed that an effort should be put forth to recognize what we term as original locals, the first people here on Montauk. It's kind of an awareness and a history of the land. We're calling this our first annual Archaeology Fest. This is a gathering of experts in the field of flint knapping, fire starting techniques, pottery making, tanning hides, and skills related to ancient life.
Where would you like to nestle that?
We're interested in developing a museum here on site. And the purpose of this particular event is to let the public know the kind of things that we plan. We're looking at how prehistoric people use this land. And one of the titles that we used for this event is Seeing Montauk Through Ancient Eyes. These are all, world-class presenters here. Once you've been exposed to their information, then you go and use your imagination. Go on some of these walks. Montauk is full of open land, 60–70%. And there are walks that you can go. Use your archaeological imagination based on the information you got here.
With the children, we teach them how to make a Native American corn cake using all ingredients that were available to the Native Americans on Long Island, the Algonquins. The children will cut their ingredient using an oyster shell. Native Americans didn't have metal knives, so that shows the children how the Native Americans had to work to cut their food.
Brain tanning is probably the oldest method of taking skin and turning it into usable, soft, leather-like material. We soak it in a lubricant, in this case brains. An animal's brains has fats in it. We mix that with water, we soak the skin in it, and those oils penetrate and lubricate the fibers. Once that happens sufficiently, we can take that skin out and pull it and stretch it until the hide is dry. A lot of people these days have a sort of mental barriers when it comes to dealing with animals, etc. Even though we still wear leather shoes and leather clothing and we eat meat, etc. I love eating animals, but I also like to make other stuff, useful and beautiful stuff out of them. So we have fans made out of turkey wings. We have a whole bunch of stuff here made out of deer skins and bones, bone knives, bone swords. Most of it is art, not really necessarily functional items, but art that I just felt like making.
An atlatl is sort of like a sling that throws a spear, and it helps you propel the dart faster and farther and more accurately than you could throw it by hand. This is a sort of the heavy artillery of the ancient world. You can kill big animals like moose and elk and buffaloes with these things very easily. The projectiles are very large and they carry a lot of punch. They're more deadly than bows and arrows, but they're also not as accurate, and you can't shoot them as far as a bow and arrow.
With little light percussion strokes. Okay? Once you have a flake like that, that's all you have to do. You can trim it into shape. Well, I'm teaching this crowd about stone tool making, how native folks, not only in North America, but all over the world, where we came from. We were in a Stone Age technology, all of us, and how stones are used into making tools and implements and aids to living, how they were shaped, doesn't change. What I'm using in this particular demonstration, I'm working on a piece of material that's from New Jersey called Archaeology. I'm using stone as stone hammers, simple quartzite or sandstone hammerstones. I'm using wooden hammers, and I'm using antler hammers. And they're percussive instruments used to knock flakes off, to shape the piece into either usable cutting edges or flakes which are byproducts of these things that can be made into ancillary tools.
I am fascinated how they made food out of local things that we walk by every day, and how they tanned hides, and how they made weapons with their bare hands, and just about
deer
everything.
Braids. You want to try the deer braids?
That cottage in the background there is a non-historical building which was donated to the Historical Society in the 60s. And the goal is to renovate and expand that cottage, and it would be the Montauk Indian Museum. You know, we currently have about $45,000 towards a $750,000 goal. And it's going to be done through the generosity of individuals, you know, who have an appreciation for what it is we're trying to do.